welcome to this very special edition video. We are Tegre Sliding Wardrobes, Ireland's multi-award winning company. Now we are celebrating 15 years in business. We of course manufacture and supply bespoke sliding wardrobes furniture to domestic and commercial market right across Ireland. We are very excited and proud to announce that we are one of the official sponsors this year's legendary Warriors Run in Sligo. So to help us announce this fantastic news, we have a very special guest who completed numbers of marathons, including the Berlin Marathon. He is also represented Ireland in cross country, and of course after 12 attempts he is the winner of the Warriors Run in 2022. I'm delighted and privileged to introduce our own legend, great warrior, seamie Summers.
Thanks a million for having me, Wojtek. Congratulations on your 15 years in business and well done on all your awards. And fantastic to have you sponsor this year in the Warriors too.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for coming. It's my pleasure to have you here and promoting the great Warriors Run as a first local and winner of last year. And it's good to have one of the local legends in the town.
One of the best events in Sligo, definitely as a race. Yeah. Everybody knows about the Warriors Run.
Yeah, it's kind of short, but it's at the same time it's tough.
It is, yeah. It's very tough. It's very tough.
Really famous. So what do you think? What's the best 5 tips? What would you recommend for people who never did it before? So would you recommend?
Well, I suppose for people maybe that are doing it for the first time, anyways. I think at this stage, nearly most of the people in Sligo have maybe tried it at some stage. But I think for anybody that's new to it, I would say make sure that you get the full distance into your legs in training. It's probably a 9-mile race, so I definitely say get the distance in. And look, no matter how many times you go up that Glen Road, it's never ever easy. And so I would recommend anybody that lives locally or that can get a chance to maybe get out around Strand Hill, take in the Glen Road in part of your training.
Try it a
couple of times. Because as you know, it's every time you run up that Glen Road, it's never easy, you know. So definitely that would be.
I think actually this mountain grows every year. It grows. It's getting bigger and bigger.
That's great. Yeah, and look for a lot of people too. The mountain actually isn't the toughest part of it. I actually do think the Glen Road is actually the toughest part of it. Yeah. So so when you get onto the mountain, a lot of the time, because it's so narrow on the trail, you end up maybe having to walk. So you do get time to kind of recover as you're going up, and then coming down, as we all know, can be tricky enough too, especially if it's wet. We've seen it in some of our training runs that's different conditions can mean that underfoot is slippy. So you just need to be careful coming down. And then I suppose when you get back onto the road itself, I would always advise people to just kind of assess yourself when you get back on the road for maybe a couple of minutes. Just see how your legs are. Because we all know it's you're talking it's about approximately 4 miles back to Strand Hill. So it's a tough run back. So I think if you do kind of look after yourself for a little bit once you get back off the mountain, and then hopefully you'll be able to.
What would you recommend? Would you recommend, let's say, like at least 3 months training before, or would you go? It all depends.
Yeah, it all depends. If you want to just get around it, I think you could probably get away with maybe 7-8 weeks of training. If you want to be kind of competitive in it, obviously you need to do a lot more.
Push yourself.
But the endurance comes into play at the last couple of miles, because anybody that knows that has done it before, once you go up the Glen Road, go up the mountain, come back down, then run around the mountain on the way back, the last 2 miles can be really, really tough. So I'd say during your training, if you're doing any kind of longer runs, maybe at the weekend or something like that, just maybe try and pick up the pace a little bit. Maybe over the last 10 minutes, just to kind of get that feeling of how you're going to feel over them last couple of miles.
And do maybe a few 10-mile runs before the
Yeah,
race.
yeah,
So
definitely.
know,
Yeah, get the distance into your legs. I think because it is a different race than any other race you do. You know,
it's very scenic. Like nice weather. It's so lovely.
it can be.
So
Yeah, it can be. Not a lot of people get a chance to look at the scenery, especially up the end line up there. Yeah. So yeah,
but it's nice.
It's always been fairly competitive, you know.
It's getting very popular everywhere in Ireland. It's like people coming from Dublin to run this race.
Yeah, but sure, the guy that won it in 2019 was like from Belgium, you know. So I mean, they travel from all over. They travel from all over, Ireland, England, and like I said, Belgium. You know, so it's a famous event at this stage. You know?
So Seamus, do you know any history about this race? When did it start, or who came up with the idea to run over the mountain and come back to the beach?
Well, as far as I know, and I've heard different stories over the years, but this race is well over 30 years now. But seemingly it started from a conversation in Breeze pub. A couple of lads were at the bar and they were talking about who could run to the top quicker, and I think it evolved from there. So I've ran it 12 times now, so the numerous times I've ran it has been different routes, but it always started from when I started doing it. It always started and finished at the Strand Bar, but I don't think that was always the case. But some of the routes used to be as you go up through the tourist car park there, you used to go up and down that way. But because the event got so popular, and like now you have it like selling out with like 1,200 entries every year, so that was just too many people to have going up and down the same direction. So they changed the route to up the Glen Road and into the field. There's a little field there at the lay-by, so you go into that field there, as you know, across the two fields, and I think that was the more popular route, because it meant just that there was nobody meeting each other on the trail.
The one-way system.
Yeah, the one-way system. So yeah, so it's been that way I think since around 2011. If I'm thinking back correctly, yeah, I think it's about 2011 they chose that route, and ever since then it's been that way, and I think it's just a fantastic event.
Yeah, no, I like it too. I think I did it 8 or 9 times every year, and I just love it.
Yeah,
I'm not training for it much, but it's great. It's great to run. So what would you recommend to do actually on the day of the race? Because the race starts around 3 o'clock, so it's actually very late.
Well, on the day of the event, I've always discovered, because it's such an unusual time for a race to start. It's like I think it's 3:15 or around that time now. They've moved it out to. So getting your eating before the race right can be important. For me, it's usually around 3 hours before a race where I'd eat. So that's like 12 o'clock. So what I tend to do is I tend to hold off my breakfast until maybe 12 o'clock. Maybe just have something light like toast or something first when I get up, and then just hold out for my usual pre-race meal, as I call it, till maybe around midday. But look, everybody's different, but I just recommend don't try anything new on the day of a race, because it can affect you in different ways, especially an endurance race like that.
So at least use the same shoes as you were using.
All the gear, yes. When it comes to gear, I wouldn't wear anything new. Yeah. It's like chaffing can be a problem, especially with new gear. But yeah, as in regard shoes, definitely wear the shoes that you've been training.
And would you recommend road shoes or the trail?
Yeah, that's kind of been debatable over the years. Some people reckon, maybe trail shoes are better for a run like this, but I just don't think there's enough mountain.
Yeah, but we have only 3.5 kilometers of the mountain, and the rest is all on the road.
Exactly. So I always kind of just sacrifice that little bit maybe of time that I might lose on the mountain, wearing my road racers. That's what I go for personally. So yeah, fingers crossed it'll go well. Hopefully we'll get a good day for it this year. Yeah. And we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, thank you for your tips. And it was a pleasure to talk to you, to talk to a professional.
Yeah, well, look,
and the winner.
yeah.
So I wish you best of luck this
thanks.
year.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
hopefully you can keep the trophy again.
Well, we'll always go back and give it a go. So it was a dream come true to win it last year for my first time. So it's a great feeling that I had after it. So hopefully I'll get that feeling again.
Yeah, I wish you that. All right.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I wish the best of luck to everyone, to Seamus and all the competitors. And so remember to like our page and share, and follow us on the social medias for more tips. And see you soon.